Wow, what a day. I'll tell you what, the weather has been beautiful. The spring, the daffodils, the crocuses, man, it's a nice change. The snow, Mark, it's just been driving me bananas. Hey, today we want to kind of get things rolling, tell you a lot about the market, but you can notice Rick's not here today. In fact, Rick's business associate, Mark Frisco, is here, and we want to kind of give you an update on the marketplace. First, tell us where Jobin Real Estate is located.
We're located in Hollywood, just past Dean's Lumber. If you're heading north, count to about 10, and then you end up at Hollywood Plaza, and that's where we're at.
Right on the right-hand side. In fact, you're no longer Jobin Realty. They're actually Residential Plus. Just changed your name, I think, March 1st, right?
Yep.
And my name is Tim Murphy. Of course, I'm with CNF Mortgage Company. We're located in Waldorf, Maryland, right on Route 5, kind of across the street from Thomas Stone High School, and I call it, of course, God's country. Well, today we want to kind of go over a lot of things that we've been hearing about, especially from our housing workshops that we've had and our bus tours, which we just had some successful events, but we want to kind of nail down some of the questions that people have had. And I think one of the first ones really is FICO scores.
Right.
We've talked about what direction it appears the bank and HUD and VA is moving towards, and that is more of a tightening up, Mark. We're seeing the need, and it used to be in the past that 580 was acceptable, then it was 600. Right now, 620 appears still to be the minimum.
Do you think it's going to raise at all?
Well, we've actually seen a lot of mortgage companies start to raise their requirements to 640 and 660. So it's critical that you get out there and A, find out what your score is, and that's an easy question, and then B, it's not that hard to repair.
Right.
Mark knows we've had several clients that have come to us that have needed a little bit of, we call it TLC.
Yep.
And so it's amazing what you can do just to kind of brush things up. And it might be as little as paying down a credit card, paying off a small collection. Might just be getting a credit card.
What's the difference in points if you pay down a credit card, just for example?
Well, Mark's got a great point. Let's take an example. We had a client the other day who had a $1,000 balance on his credit card, but the credit limit was only $800.
Right.
So he was over the limit. And by over the limit, he owed 50 points. So his score was 617, and it had really hurt him. So he was at 617. He wasn't ready to buy, but he had found the house. And Mark and I got together and said, listen, if we just pay this down from $1,000 to a balance of $200, so they were below 25%, it should improve your points. Not only take it away, but to improve it. And lo and behold, in 7 days, we were able to get his credit rescored, and now he's a 637, which is right above that 620, buying a home. So credit, number one, is critical, and that's really the first step. More importantly is knowing how much you can afford to buy. And Mark, we talk about the rule of 70 all the time, don't we?
Yep.
And basically, all the rule of 70 says that you take the first two numbers in a sales price, like 200,000.
Multiplied by 70, and then you got your whole payment.
And so we take that example, we take 20, it's the first two numbers, times 70, and Mark, the mortgage payment is?
$1,400.
So it's that easy. And
what does that include, Tim?
Well, that's principal and interest, taxes, and insurance. That's the whole entire payment. It's a really good kind of a gauge. And based on that kind of a strategy, you begin to think, okay, if I'm paying $1,300 or $1,400 in rent, how much can I buy? So it's a pretty easy process from an affordability standpoint, isn't it?
Yep. Definitely.
Speaking of 200,000, Mark, last night you and I were looking into the marketplace, and we pulled up the homes, and I was kind of messing with Mark. I said, there's 270 homes. But it was amazing when we pulled it up in St. Mary's County, how many homes were under $200,000.
Yeah,
remember?
About 70 of them. So.
Exactly. And it was amazing when we began to look at the range. It was as low as, I think, 96.5.
Right.
And I think that one needed a lot of TLC, up to about 200. And what was amazing, we actually were sitting down with one of our clients last night, going through the homes, and just having, Mark's knowledge and skill to say, okay, hey, this needs a lot of work, or this one might be a double-wide trailer. We really don't want to focus on that home. Which ones are foreclosures? And what was amazing, which ones weren't.
Exactly. There's some out there that aren't foreclosures, and there's some out there that don't need any work at all. And like you said, I've been in probably about half of those houses, so I know the ones that are foreclosures, when they're going to go down in price. Some of them within the next week, because it's been 30 days since they've been on the market. So I have a good idea of where we should offer and where we should swing into things like that.
And I think that's the key, Mark. I mean, you know, with your knowledge of the marketplace, your knowledge of when the banks, you know, typically will reduce the price, your knowledge really of how to offer and what to offer. I mean, let's take Sarah and Brian's case, for example. We have a house that they found. In fact, you said, let's take a look at it because it wasn't even on their list, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And we had watched it, and price had gone from $300 to $250 to $240. And then you said, let's take a look at it, and then you guys made an offer.
Yep, exactly.
And what did you get it for?
It was listed about $238. We got it for $220.
Right.
And then
got your seller help.
Yeah, we got 6% in closing cost, and we asked them to do a mold remediation and build back in the entire basement, which means gutting the entire basement and building the entire thing back. So, and they did it. So
it's amazing. Now, what didn't happen overnight?
No. It took about 2 weeks' time, but we found out that in those 2 weeks we weren't just waiting on an answer. They were actually already doing the work to the house.
So it really is amazing. You know, from what we're gathering, even though the listing might say as is.
And what the great thing about that house, too, it's lakefront. About 225 feet of lakefront.
It is.
It's a great view.
It's a great house. It really is.
For $220,000, you can't beat that for a mortgage payment of...
Well, rule of 70.
1540.
Yeah, there you go, man. Not bad at all. This is, I guess, it's kind of contagious when you start thinking about the numbers.
Exactly.
So there's a lot out there, and I think that we also saw that on the bus tour on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. We saw about 18 houses, and what was neat was we went into the Lusby area, got into the Lexington Park area, and just got a chance to really see a lot of homes and get some strategies and ideas of what might need to be fixed, what kind of repairs need to be made. How much closing help can we ask for? Is this a good price? How long the house was on the market?
Right.
I mean, it just gave you a real good feel of the market.
There's a lot of good investments out there, not just for first-time home buyers, but for investors. It's a great chance for you to come out on the bus tour. What is the next bus tour? It's
well, we have one coming up on the 27th, but let's take a look at some quick houses real quick.
All right.
All right. Our first house is a beautiful house in Leonardtown, Maryland. It's a well-cared-for farm-style house located really in Loveville, Maryland, on 3.5 acres with an oversized 3-car garage. And check it out, Mark. It's got heat, air conditioning, and even a half bath. And that's the garage. Now, the house itself has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a rec room, and hard flooring priced at $340,000. And it's USDA financing 100%.
Sounds like a great deal. The second house we have here is in Park Hall. It's a beautifully renovated 3-bedroom, 2-bath, surrounded by farmland. Features hardwood floors, a spiral staircase to the loft, a sunroom, and a back deck with a ramp. Also has a large detached 4-car garage. This one's priced at $289,000.
Wow. The next house we have is over in Callaway, Maryland. Now, this is a townhouse for $172,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and 1/2 bath. And it's really well maintained. Now, this, to me, would be the perfect little investment.
Right.
Because from a rental standpoint, you'd have to put 20% down. But payment-wise, would be extremely affordable from a rental. You're looking at a payment around $1,100. So not bad at all. And from a rental standpoint, Mark, what would that rent for?
Probably about $1,300–1,400.
So a nice cash flow. Well, let's get back to our show. We just wanted to show you some houses of the week. You know, the house on Pincushion, that one in Loveville is beautiful. It really is. And it's amazing to see what's out there for the price.
Exactly.
So looking at things and looking ahead, we've got really 2 workshops coming up.
Yep.
Mark, what are the dates on that?
The first one's going to be Tuesday, March 16th.
That's right.
And the second one is going to be Wednesday, March 24th. And then, like we said before, we have the bus tour on the 27th, the following Saturday. So.
Exactly, and we're getting a pretty good crowd coming to these things these days. So, call ahead. So the 16th, Tuesday, runs about 7 to 10. And then the following Wednesday of the following week is the 24th. And that, again, 7 to 10 p.m. So you want to call ahead, get registered. We do feed you, which is always good. And then the bus tour is the following Saturday, the 27th. It starts, believe it or not, we start loading on at about 10:15. So you want to get there at 10 o'clock. Runs to about 3:30, and really gives you an incredible opportunity to see houses, learn the market, and learn, more importantly, the strategies of how to compete and how to win. To get a hold of us, very easy. Best number is to call us at the number here in the office, 301-373-6600. 6257. Ask for Mark Frisco or Pam, or you can call on, or you can go on the allsouthernmdhomes.com. It's another site that you can get to. I know Rick's cell phone gets really busy these days.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Always better to call on the office phone, or you can get a hold of me if you've got questions about credit or income, what you can qualify for. And we'll see you next week.
All right.